Recently on my Patreon, I did a Ask Me Anything, and one of my patrons asked me if it would be possible for me to make my own Sega Genesis sleeves. So I took that challenge, I went ahead and created some, and in this video I'm going to showcase this to you guys. So I was asked if I could make, like a dust shield slash sleeve for the Genesis cart. So what I did is I started off by just making a simple dust shield. I'm going to go ahead and show that to you guys today. So that would be just this simple piece right here. I modeled this, 3D printed it, very basic. And then, we can just snap it on the bottom of the cart. It's a snug enough fit that it won't drop off if you're holding it, but it's not too snug that, it'll scratch the cart putting it on and off. So pretty simple design there. And then what I did is, I was reviewing his question, or his question, and he said sleeve. So it got me thinking, what if I create a full-size sleeve for the Genesis cart? So what I did is I went ahead and created this one. So I took the original model, adapted it to a full height for the standard cart. Obviously everything I'm showing you in this video are for the standard size carts, not for the EA cart or any of the Codemaster releases or Virtua Racing, anything like that. So I went ahead and printed this full size sleeve. And the way that works is you just slide the whole cart right down in. I ensured I had the cutout here for the label. One thing I didn't like with the NES sleeves is, they come here and then they angle down, and you could only see half, if even half, of the label on the cart. So what I did is I went ahead and, trimmed that out so that you could see the whole sleeve, which I thought was a really nice effect. And then I posted on a couple Facebook groups, this design, and I said, hey, would anybody be interested in this? Got a lot of feedback. A lot of people came back and said they really like just the cap, the low profile design, as a lot of people referred to it. But the problem, they said, is that, because they've experienced with this with the Super Nintendo carts, is that you cannot stack them. If you look at it like this, you have, a raised here, raised here. If you try to just stack these, they'll start leaning forward, eventually fall off the shelf. So when I originally designed this, I was thinking more from a stand perspective, right? I could just stand it up like this, display shelf. So what I did is I went ahead and adapted that. So I took the dust shield and I made a top cap variant that will still outline the label. So it just snaps on the top here. Obviously, you could use the full size if you wanted to stack them, but if you didn't want to, slide the whole cart in, some people were worried it would scratch the labels, tear up the labels. I went ahead and designed this. So here you can see if I lay this flat, all four corners are the same height. I can still lay this flat, still see the label. And so I went ahead and decided that I'm going to sell all these pieces at the local convention that's happening actually next weekend, April 21st, 22nd, the Pittsburgh Retro Gaming Convention, which is at the Ace Hotel in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And what I'm doing is, right now I'm printing out a bunch of these. I'm going to be selling them at the convention. It'll be the first really public sale I do of any of these. They're extremely reasonably priced. And then I'm going to be throwing, once the convention's over, they'll be for sale on the Retroholics Facebook group, and they will also be going up on my eBay store, which there's a link in the description of my videos to my eBay store, to where I sell my PSA graded Pokemon cards, some of my duplicate games. I'm also going to be throwing up buy it nows for these. I'll be doing large prints, throwing these up there over the next coming weeks. Like I said, very reasonably priced. If you're interested in any of these, definitely let me know. I'm going to go through and show you guys all the colors that I printed. I printed out more than just black. I realized, Mega Drive's blue, Genesis is red themed. And so I went ahead and I took some of my extra filament that I had, printing out some various colors. Just want to show that to you guys today. All of these, well, most of these colors will be available on the eBay store. All of what I printed out for this video will also be available at the convention. There will be a discounted price at the convention. And if you're a subscriber to the channel, drop by my booth. You'll see my Retro Mike shirt on, my Retro Mike hat, I'll be all geared out. Just make sure that you let me know you're a subscriber, and I will give you a set of the red colored, which is actually what I'm going to show you now. So I have a red top cap and a red base. Right now I'm printing out a lot of these, and so if you mention that you're a subscriber to the channel, you can go ahead and get yourself a free set whenever you drop by my booth. So without further ado, let's go ahead and show you guys the colors that we're dealing with here. So I just showed you the red. This is on the red Maximum Carnage cart. So it looks really nice with that. But if we just grab Toy Story, typical black cart, here you can see what it looks like on the black cart. And then next up we have, this is actually a marble color. So it's basically a marble pattern. It's kind of got marble pigments inside the filament itself. So if you look closely, you will actually see along with the gray color, you see the black specks. So that is the marble look. And there will only be probably 1 or 2 of these available. I just had a little bit extra marble filament. And I'll have some of these available as well. Maybe 10 or so sets of these. And this is the bronze. So this is the bronze color. Very easy prints. I've been asked if I'm going to be throwing the models up on Thingiverse or Thingify. I'm still considering that. I want to see how they do on the eBay store. If I get a lot of interest on the eBay store, I probably won't throw them up on Thingiverse. But if it doesn't seem like it's going to be worthwhile to print and sell these on the eBay store or at the convention, I may throw it up on Thingiverse. The only problem I have with Thingiverse is a lot of times people will take the models, they will remove my watermark that I put on these, and they'll sell them on Etsy. And so a lot of people think it's, it's the original creator selling them on Etsy, but it's actually somebody else. There just becomes a conflict there. So see how the eBay store does. If you're interested in any of these, definitely let me know. I can print in pretty much any color, and the price is the same regardless of the color for the most part. If you want a wood grain, then it's going to be a little bit more expensive, but overall relatively cheap. Like I said, I'm doing an introductory price at the convention and on the Facebook group, and then they'll be priced a little bit more on my eBay store, but still relatively cheap. So if you're interested in any of these, definitely let me know. Any of these colors I showed you, I can pretty much ship same day. Anything else will probably require around a 2 to 3 day lead time, just so I can get the material in, get them printed. It's a really fast print. That's not a problem at all. So drop me a comment below. Let me know what you think, about these dust shields. I've been toying around the idea of doing a similar thing for maybe Game Gear games, possibly Game Boy Neo Geo Pocket Color, where if you don't want that entire clamshell, the clear clamshell case around it, that you could just pop on, just kind of a little cap to keep the dust out of the pins. But let me know what you think, if this is something you'd be interested in. And I do have plans, if I'm able to sell any of these at the convention, I do have plans to do an EA style cart, some Codemaster style carts, like the Micro Machines, things like that. But definitely let me know if you're interested. Thank you for watching. And be sure to check out my Patreon. It's patreon.com/retromike. I do a lot of exclusive content up there on Patreon for all of my patrons.